Can you load up Twitch? And go to my channel. Do you have headphones? It's a little awkward, isn't it? This is the penguin guy? Is it too loud though? You can hear me talking now, right? You should, because the mic is live. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm here cooking. Are you balanced at all? Like, am I too loud? Is the music too loud? Hi, Brandon. What are you doing? I'm about to make cookies. Hello. I'm making cookies.
You're getting louder than me.
Is it okay then?
I think so.
What are you unclear about?
It's the delay to my processing is all.
So is it passable or not?
I think it's backwards.
You think so, but you're not sure. Okay, fair enough. I mean,
I'll turn down the music a little bit.
turn down the music a little, you think? That's down quite a bit. I'm gonna be blending. I'm gonna be mixing. I'm gonna be hot watering. I swear to God, this is that Australian guy who's like really offensive to homosexuals. Do you remember him?
Sorry, I didn't catch any of that because I was in the delay.
I know. I'm trying to get you to tell me whether the audio's okay or not. You're helping me test it, even though we're already broadcasting, but no video yet. Yes? No? It's fine? You can hear me? That's not too loud. I mean, fuck it. Alright, it is what it is.
You have to keep in mind that it's like several seconds after you do it that I actually hear the headphones.
Yeah, but how is that a problem for you to judge the volume?
Because then you're asking me to judge the volume while I'm waiting for them.
So I have to run in the room to hit the change scene button. Alright, so I'm making cookies. Well, I've never made these cookies before, but I've made a lot of cookies before, so I'm making these cookies. Coffee chocolate chip cookies. Let's get some stuff together. It's the coffee granules. Flour. A lot of flour. All these measurements here are by volume. That's interesting. Baking soda. Baking soda. It's baking powder. That's baking soda. Ooh, salt. A half cup of butter softened. I think I'll probably have to soften that up a bit more. Vanilla. Vanilla in there. There's vanilla in there. Eggs. Are there 2 eggs? There are 2 eggs. Well, I got all my ingredients piled up like I know what I'm doing. Almonds. No. This recipe calls for slivered almonds. But instead, I'm just going to use some walnuts I have. Because recipes are for fun. Or something like that. I need all of it. There are many cups of all the shit out preemptively. Let's see what else we're gonna need. The mixer. And the oven. 350. We'll need white sugar. Is there anything else serious that needs to be brought in? Eggs, vanilla, butter, sugar, salt, hot water. Doesn't say how hot. Probably tap hot would be enough. Just gonna put some in the kettle and heat it up a bit. That's gonna be tablespoons. We're gonna want something to mix that in. Right. Probably. That'll do. Alright. So we need to soften this butter up a little more. I had this out, but I didn't have it out long enough. I meant to take it out this morning. I didn't take it out till midstream this morning. So it does need a little bit more time, otherwise I won't be able to cream it. Let's start a few seconds at a time. You don't want to overcook butter in the microwave. It's catastrophic. And a little bit of time goes a long way with butter, too. Let's see. Oh, that's definitely enough. That was 10 seconds in 2 5-second increments, and it went from completely solid to like ready to melt. Let's put that aside for now. We're going to need a cup measure. What do we need? How much sugar do we need? We need 1 1/4 cups of sugar. So let's just use the 1/4 cup for sugar. I assume we're creaming. Toast the almonds in the oven, and that's going to be happening. I'm definitely doing that part. Sugar. Yeah, okay, the order on this is really good. I mean, 1 1/4 cups. Sugar doesn't really compact at all, so you can really just dig it in your fucking sugar container. 2, 3, 4. That's approximately a cup. And then a 1/4 cup. Is that going to be enough sugar? 1 1/4 cup sugar. Is there any brown sugar? There's no brown sugar. I'm really questioning the quantities in this. So they don't look particularly accurate. So let's get our dry mixture instead. What's in our dry mixture? 2 2 2/3? 2 2/3 cup flour. Flour, baking salt, and salt. Yeah. So you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to dig into flour because it solidifies and you get totally different weights. But because there's no metric weights and there's no decimal weights here, it's just volume. I feel like do the spoon method, and it's not great. I don't think anyone would prefer to do it. I really like cooking with by weight now, but I'm not going to change the whole recipe, and I'm certainly not going to do it on the fly. Let's get some flour. That's 1/3 of a cup. Ooh, I'm sure that's piercing. It's 2/3 of a cup. Spooning and leveling. Because you don't want too much flour. That's 3/3 of a cup. That's 1 1/3. I'd much rather be weighing this, and normally chocolate chips I'd be weighing it out. It's just not here. So I'm gonna do the volume like I've been instructed and see how it goes. Maybe they'll be too buttery. It's not to say. Let's see. Put a baking soda in here. That's 3/4. Let's see. That's a tablespoon. Teaspoon, right? A half. That's a 1/4 teaspoon. You gotta get your headphones. I have a wife and a dog on camera.
No, I needed to get my phone to get my Twitch security code.
Oh, your Twitch security code. 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda. That's 1/4. Oh, this could be disastrous. That's 2. That's 3/4. How much salt? A half teaspoon of salt. Oh, let's dirty all the teaspoons. We're gonna have a teaspoon party. Wait, what? Is that a thing? The teaspoon party? I've never made this recipe before. I've made a lot of cookies before. But not this one. This is a half teaspoon of salt. So I think that's all that dries. Let's whisk it. Are there any more dries I'm missing here? Oh, yeah, this can stop. I need hot water because there's coffee in this. Made with instant coffee. I need to mix all the dry up in this little bowl because we're going to pour it into the wet bowl. You know what I'm saying? As soon as we're to that point. Got flour everywhere already. Hey, Polly. We have a melt setting on the microwave for butter. Yeah, but that's not how it works. That just does what I did, except without flipping it over, and you really need to flip it over. On a scale of 1 to 10, how disastrous will these cookies be? I think, you know, because it's a new recipe, and because the measurements aren't by volume, and aren't by weight, and I've been doing exclusively weight lately, I think that it'll be quite a disaster. I think they'll be too buttery. That's my guess. So our dries are in our dry. I'm getting sweaty already. Oh yeah, okay. So we need to actually make the instant coffee. How much coffee is in here? It's a really concentrated amount. It's like similar to like the DeLongo coffee amount. It's 1/3 of a cup of instant coffee, which is a lot of fucking instant coffee, to 2 tablespoons of water. So let's get 1/3 a cup of instant coffee granules. And the lovely people at Aldi. They are Aldi granules, but they're really not great. I think they're kind of bitter. It's less than 1/3 of a cup. It'll be interesting to see how that much moisture affects our recipe. You don't really add any liquids to cookies, right? If you use butter, sometimes you might add a little oil, depending on the recipe. We're at 2 tablespoons of hot water, yeah. 2 tablespoons of hot water. It's going to be hard to dissolve this much in hot water, I think. Let me stir this with this spoon. What do I use this spoon for? Leveling the flour. That's pretty. Flour's raw, so you don't want to like cross-contaminate the flour. You use what every time we make pancakes, Polly? My wife is chatting me instead of shouting. The melt feature. Good for you. So this is like hyper-concentrated black tar coffee granule mix here. It smells really acidic and bitter. This recipe is just like some internet all recipes recipe, so who the fuck knows about it, right? I'm going to need... I dissolved it like you told me to. Beat the milk and sugar within an inch of its life. So that's pretty standard. Let's get this plugged in. This is going to be like horribly loud, I'm sure. Where is my mixing bowls? So my high quality mixer. I believe this mixer was $9, but I bought it like 3 years ago now. So that's something. So it only calls for a half cup of butter, which isn't that much butter. I really, really doubt that this is going to make 48 cookies. Unless they're like tiny, tiny little baby cookies. Little baby cookies. Let's get that butter in a fucking bowl, slightly softened. Mostly by time, but also by a little bit of microwaving. Yeah. I'm gonna read back so I don't miss that. That's creamy. Oh yeah. I assume this is far too loud in the room. My apologies for this. I'm definitely an expert baker. I've baked quite a bit in my life. But I wouldn't say I've learned anything. Because this is softened, this has gotten creamy and crumbs real quick. Creamy and crumbs. Oh man. That's pretty good. It's like kind of floury, kind of crummy. Alright, pour the coffee, vanilla, and eggs in. It doesn't really say in what order or how. Typically you do just a little bit at a time, like you do one egg at a time. So we're just going to follow a previous technique that I've learned about. And another paper towel. Oh, brilliant, professional. I like to crack my eggs over paper towels because I'm really messy. I think I might be the worst egg cracker of all time. So that's one egg. Put that white in there. Oh, okay, this towel is now contaminated. Put that first egg in. Ooh, now it looks like mashed potatoes. Potatoes. You know, potatoes. Now it looks like mashed potatoes. Let's get that second egg in. Oh my god, I didn't commit. Watch for shells on this one. You don't want to make a fool of yourself cracking an egg while you're on the internet. Nobody wants that. We need a teaspoon of vanilla, so let's go ahead and put that in with this second egg. And we'll take a shot for ourselves as well. No, that's gross. I drip some extra in there. It should be fine. It'll be fine. Let's mix that up too. This is the second egg and the vanilla. Get this thoroughly in there. Okay. The recipe calls for the coffee now too, so let's go ahead and put the coffee in. Ooh, it's very slimy, acidic. Very concentrated. There's a name for this stage of dough. Don't worry, I haven't added the flour or the other dry ingredients. It has a name. I can't remember what it is. Oh, did I make it? Okay. That's the recycling bed corner shot. Now let's get a spatula here. Too much side action. Around the sides. And just going to add the dry as it looks like. The butter and egg and sugar mixture has taken a very aerated appearance. I'm not sure it's going to make it into a great dough. First half of the dries in there. It's just easier to mix half the dry at a time, I guess. I don't know. This is more like absorbed technique than learned science. That's one of the things about baking or cooking. Is if you're not receiving any sort of formal training, you're basically just like absorbing what the internet or your friend or your mom says. And they may or may not know what the fuck they're talking about. You can trust them, but you know, I don't trust my mom. So I recommend you don't trust yours either. The rest of the dry. All done with those guys. All done with that guy. I'm gonna mix the rest of this in. We're getting it done. We're making cookies. Alright, so interestingly enough, this recipe says, after you add the rest, to drop by teaspoonfuls onto an ungreased cookie sheet. Now that would explain why it thinks that this was in 48. Teaspoon is a minute quantity, and I find it hard to believe that you can make cookies a teaspoon at a time. Let's see what the internet says. This person put Cafe Bustelo in it. It's like the Aldi channel. Right? Welcome to the Aldi channel. There's an Aldi subreddit. People are crazy about Aldi. I like Aldi, I guess, but I don't have any strong feelings about Aldi. Alright, so now I need to add a couple of cups of chocolate chips. This recipe calls for slivered almonds. But, really? It's definitely not a slivered almond household. But we do have some walnuts, because we made pesto with walnuts, or my wife made pesto with walnuts recently. I'm going to put in these 2 full cups. It's going to be a lot. I don't think that's the rest of the bag. It might be. Let's find out. Let's see, what does it say here? It's almost certainly by weight on the side here. It's by tablespoon. It's going to be all of them, I think. We're real close. Real close. That's about 2 full cups. Which is a lot. Oh, but there's nothing else left. There's like half a dozen left, max. So that's 2 full cups of chocolate chips. You throw that away. Good thing now. And then how much walnuts? Or slivered almonds, as it were. 3/4 a cup of blanched slivered almonds. You know anybody named Blanche? The only Blanche I know is the Golden Girls. We're using walnuts, and we're going to eyeball at about that much. I think they'll be fine. I mean, has anybody ever said, oh, I don't like walnuts? Yes, they have. They're probably allergic to nuts, but I'm against people who are allergic to nuts. I'm against it. Let's see, that's where we're going to get here. Well, there's a lot of dry in them. Oh, it's very, very lumpy now. We're folding them in there. So it's still very sticky. This might, honestly, this might need a little bit more flour. It's very sticky consistency, and much more so than I think typically. I think it's all that moisture from the coffee. We've done a pretty decent job folding. You know, there's always uneven distribution in chocolate chip cookies, isn't there? I'm sure there is in this one too. I don't want to ruin these, so I think I'm going to stick to the recipe. However, I also think this could use a little bit of time in the fridge because it's very wet, if you know what I'm saying. Let's get a little fridge time on. Actually, room in the fridge for this? Probably. Ooh, he says. Can't play pop music on the internet anymore. It's against the rules. The IRA. The Irish Republican Army hates the internet. They prohibit prohibited all music on the internet. Alright, so we're putting that in the fridge for a little bit. The oven hot. The oven is hot. We'll just do some dishes. Let's clean that first. Cleaning is part of baking. You gotta clean. What are you doing? my wife's got the chat up. She refuses to talk for some reason. Ooh, there's some coffee on there. This is the wireless is breaking down for this thing. So like I keep framing on the preview of Twitch. My wife says she's chatting me. Thanks. Well, at least somebody. So we're gonna get our instruments clean. That's pretty clean. Or clean. I get that with leaf spray, so it should be relatively sanitary now. You don't really stick this in food, but you touch it while you're touching food. And you want to avoid any sort of cross-contamination that you can, right? Definitely shouldn't cross-contaminate. Alright. Don't know if you can actually see it, but I'm putting stuff away now. Well, that just freaked out on my side. I hope it's still broadcasting properly. It should be, because it's going to the computer in the other room. But you never know. All the materials. The ingredients are back in the ingredient hole. Just kind of biding time here because we want to refrigerate the dough because it's too wet for me to comfortably spread or put on pans. And it don't ruin it while I do it. It'll be sticky and messy. And some people like it sticky and messy, other people like it dry and without pleasure. I've been watching the BBC's ITV, actually, I think is who owns it now, Poldark. And they definitely like it dry and without pleasure on Poldark, you know what I'm saying. Oh, Mr. Poldark, give it to me dry in your cave. Mr. Poldark. They're all from Cornwall. They don't really sound like that. Man, doing dishes, loading dishwashing on the internet. It's the future. This is contaminated. Laundry room. Alright, loading the dishwasher up with my dishes. Ooh, put your dishes in the dish hole. It's gonna get banned. It's gonna get banned for all the vulgarity. Fun and excitement. Cleaning is part of baking. I don't actually dislike cleaning up. I like a clean space. I think everybody does. Nobody wants to live in filth, right? My floors are pretty dirty, I say that. Use a fucking mop. Can I mop on stream? I know there is that lady who gets into her sportswear, her action wear, and the fucking dishwasher's full. There's that lady who regularly streams in her yoga pants and yoga shirt. Yoga shirt? That's a video game reference for a video game I've never played. And like dances around her kitchen while she mops. It's actually quite odd. Am I actually even on camera? Am I just screaming off camera in an unhearable manner? But you stop looking. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I really haven't gotten into the oven, so our dog has been behaving. He hates ovens. He wants all his food raw. He's a raw food vegan. Beagle now? Vegan beagle? He's a beagle. I'm almost done with cleaning. I've really only been in the fridge for about 5 minutes. Maybe a little bit more time. So, I like the theory that my hands are clean now that I've washed a few dishes. I'm not sure that's true. curve. What should we do now? We should put out some paper towels for the finished cookies. Yeah, my name is Cookies. Let's see finished cookies. Hello, it is me, Cookies. Do you like me? Yes or no? Why or not? You know, I've heard a lot about the coronavirus in Sweden, but I haven't heard anything about the coronavirus in Finland, which makes me think that the Finns are either like North Korea and they're all dead, like in those zombie movies, or that maybe they're immune. Are the Finns immune to the coronavirus? Probably. Put the pans out. Now this says specifically ungreased cookie sheets. I got a bugged out Twitch screen. I can't see anything. It's just not doing very well on the Wi-Fi. Couldn't see a preview or anything.
You're streaming fine.
Oh, good. Thanks.
I can't comment on the volume obviously because I get really confused with my headphones in when watching you.
Yeah, I just, no, a couple people stopped in and left.
Yeah.
But, so there's nobody watching anyways, but...
There's 2 in now.
No. One of those is me, doing the monitoring. Like, your number is always 1.
Okay.
And the other is you.
2.
Yeah. So there are none. There's been 10 live views, 6 uniques, which means it's basically been you 4 times.
Yeah.
Plus a couple of people dropping in and then leaving. And there's 2 chatters because Pretzel counts as a viewer. Okay, down here I have pants. Just kind of wasting time. I don't want to take it out yet. The refrigeration hasn't really taken place. It says teaspoons. I feel like teaspoon's going to make a very small cookie. But you know, the thing about having a small cookie is it just means you have more cookies. We've got a teaspoon. It got a little more dry, a little better looking. You can smell the coffee. I think it's going to be a prominent taste. Let's follow the instructions. Maybe we should do a tablespoon. A teaspoon is so small. Let's do a tablespoon. Normally I do a cookie scoop. And a cookie scoop would be significantly more. It's 3 inches apart as well, which is quite a bit. Let's see if we can actually do this. No. We're gonna need a real spoon. Or we're gonna have to get our hands dirty. Let's use a tablespoon to measure, and a real spoon and our fingers to drop. That way we get relatively consistently sized cookies. But they're never popping out of here. Normally I make this with this big old scoop. Like I think scoops have numbers, I'm pretty sure it's a 3. You can smell the coffee though, I'm excited about that. It really seems very wet though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Lots of innuendo in my cookie making. See, these look really small. I think these are going to be too small. We'll do a first batch on 1 pan. And then we'll throw the dough back in the fridge. And we'll watch our result. Because I suspect that these won't work very well the way they are. They'll be too small. And the dough isn't really it's gonna spread a lot though at this temperature, so maybe they won't be that small. And I'm still thinking that, they probably don't have enough flour in them, so I'm really second and third guessing this recipe. Let's see what we get. This has been taking a long time. Quite slow. I normally would have had these cookies in the oven already. I feel like I'm a pretty fast cookie maker these days. Because I've been making like exclusively cookies for quite a while. A little bit of butter there, unfortunately. It'll be fine. You're ingredients aren't mixed. No one cares. Wait, what? I think that might be a problem. We'll see. Oh, very messy. Look at that. Oof. Let's see. The oven should be plenty warm. So, let's put these back in the fridge. Do 10 quick minutes and see what we get out of these. Yeah. I would normally do just a pan at a time, but I don't really have an option now. Because I don't want to fuck them up. But I think I might need to make them bigger. We'll see what we get out of them. Yep, 9 minutes and 45 seconds to go. I've done all the dishes. I mean, I could do a dance party, but there's only me, so. This is a slow dance number. I could dance my glass. It's a high school dance. Oh, yes, water glass. Oh, don't put your fingers in it. Is that vile and inappropriate? Yes, that is vile and inappropriate. I don't think the dog wants to dance. I'm pretty sure I've heard this song already. Maybe it was just earlier today. I question whether instrumental music should have looped vocal samples that you can't understand in it. There are cookies over here, I guess. I'm not confident at all. It's too early to check. It's only been 1 minute and 30 seconds. What's gonna happen to my fucking cookies? I don't fucking know. I don't think they're gonna be great. If only there was a master cookie baker around. It's kind of like a Drunken Master, except for like you eat a lot of cookies and you become like a superior martial artist. I think that's like maybe just sugar. It's the sugar that does it. So like, picture the Drunken Master movie, but like instead of like swaying around and punching people, he gets like really hyperactive and like bounces around the room. I think that actually would work. Could somebody call Jackie Chan? He's a little bit old, but maybe he can produce it or something. Maybe he can get like, I don't know, an animatronic version of himself to star in it instead. That might work. Let's see what the fucking comments for this recipe say. I was very excited to make these. I have to admit I'm a little bit disappointed. Cookies are too heavy for my taste. Okay. They're the kind of cookies where you only eat one. Okay, I mean, sure, you could eat more than one cookie, These cookies are delicious. From 2002. Holy shit, has all recipes really been around since 2002? Wow. I read the reviews and decided to give the recipe a try. Stronger coffee. Awesome recipe. Comfort junk food. Making these for a few years. They're really good and easy to make. I toast the almonds so they're dark golden brown. I've messed up some of the highly rated recipes here, but this one turned out just right. It's no better. If you love chocolate and coffee, this recipe's for you. Chocolate chips have grown up. I was very excited to make these cookies, and I'll admit, I was disappointed. Alright, when you hit more comments, it takes you to a page that starts back at the top. What the fuck? Flavorful, but a little dry. Nice change from the regular chip cookies. None of them took a second cookie. Okay, that's, I guess, meaningful. Maybe none of your friends wanted to get fat from eating cookies. These are my new favorite cookies. Recipe good. Amazing recipe for non-coffee drinkers. 4 minutes. Alright. They've spread better than I thought they would. So they're gonna. It looks like they're gonna be the right size. Let's go ahead and get a second tray ready, so we can swap them right in. And we'll swap pans. All right. I don't want to kill them. Those, like I said, those are forming just about the right size. So we'll do the same. And hopefully it'll work out. Oh man. I want to use my cookie scoop. They'd be too big. Looking at what those are doing in the oven, they would definitely be too big. I need more than one cookie scoop, I guess. I need a different size cookie scoop. When I have a cookie scoop, it's too big. That's what she said. Oh, your cookie scoop is so big! Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. What is cookie scoop a euphemism for, anyways? I don't know. I don't know. This is a channel for mature audiences. With jokes like that, you know that's true. Because that's definitely a mature and adult joke. Oh no! Oh, I've made a mess of this pan already, this sheet. What shall we get? We're dishing out these cookies in a very lumpy, ugly fashion. But checking the sheet in the oven, they look like they're alright, so I think it should be fine. There's a lot here then. Maybe there are 48. Alright, the recipe said by teaspoons. But that can't be right. Give me a teaspoon of dough. Is a very, very small cookie. I ain't no small cookie. Alright. Let's go. Let's see. Let's do 10 on this pan. That's the way we did the last one. All of it. Put that one up a bit. We'll be ready to put that right in about 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Put it back in the fridge. The dough is very loose. So I don't think it has enough flour. It's all the liquid, I think, from the coffee, from the instant coffee mix. They're very flat. Yeah. Well, shit. Looking at them in the oven right now, they're underfloured. Should we try to save them? There's not even much butter in them. But they're definitely underfloured. They're too flat. They're underfloured.
I see. Those are some flat cookies.
Yeah, they are. They're underfloured. Shit. The thing about an underfloured cookie is it's still edible. It's just, you don't want to show it to anybody. You know what they say about underfloured cookies.
What do they say?
There's not actually like a line after that. You're just supposed to say that. That's what innuendo is. You don't explicitly say what you mean. If you say what you mean, it's not innuendo. It's just kind of perverse. I don't think we can say this. I don't want to modify the recipe after the fact either. This is volume measurements for you. I'm a full-scale conversant to weight measure. what do these other comments say? Follow this recipe exactly. Thought these cookies were really good, just the right taste. Why is it only 4 stars then, you son of a bitch? Not a lot of coffee flavor, but they taste good. These cookies are wonderful and stayed soft even the next day. Oh, the next day? Oh my god, can you believe cookies lasted an entire day? Hold this sheet, drop the next sheet in of our overly flat, underfloured cookies. I'm very disappointed in myself. Bad cookie maker. Bad. Yeah. Too flat. So what are we getting out of them? You could say this is has all the hallmarks. These flat sections here, this is not enough flour. See that? And it's easy to recognize. It's going to be even more pronounced when the cookie cools. But you can see like this bit right here. There's not enough flour in there. Now I spooned and leveled. Did I spoon and level the correct amount? No, I'm thinking about it. I don't know. Let's see. Did I underflour it and it was all my fault? I was talking a lot. I tend to make mistakes when I run my big mouth. Yeah, I think this is me not putting enough flour in. Because it says 2 2/3 cups. I think I put 1 2/3 a cup in. Like, I underfloured them. No, I don't think they will be either. I gotta dox you. I'm sorry. It's not a good look. I think this is ill-advised, but I want to try to rescue the rest of the dough. Oh, shit. It's not worth it. I have ruined this. There's no question. I'm fired from my cookie making job. My wife is going to have to make all the cookies from now on.
No!
But look, these are shit. They look like somebody's. This is my first cookie, guys. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Well, you're an idiot. Oh my god. Ungreased cookie sheet, huh, guys? That's on me. There's barely any time to cool, and they're just shiny. Oh. You can see how terrible they look. I'm trying to rescue them. They're really bad. They're real bad. Let's see what we can do. This is going to be real tough to fix. That's 20 of them. There are supposedly a recipe for 48. I put 1 less cup in. Oh, yeah? Alright, well, I'll get out of here in a few
No, I can
minutes.
go to bed.
But, not 2/3 more in. Oh, man. What a disaster. I cooked on the internet and I ruined them. Can't even put this on my YouTube channel. I'll be so embarrassed. Oh, man. And I don't know if it's even possible to rescue it in a scenario like this. I don't know. It doesn't look good for me. It really fucked up. I drastically underfloured. And as a result, they're awful. They really are. But it wasn't the recipe that was wrong, it was me. I wasn't paying enough attention. I wasn't paying enough attention. And as a result, I'm getting some really shitty cookies out of it. The ones that are in there are looking pretty bad too. An absolute disaster on my hands. What a mistake. See if I can't get some of this flour to properly combine. The dough's come together quite a bit more now. It's very stiff. Oh, Cookie Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Cookie Jesus. I underfloured the cookies, Cookie Jesus. I think Cookie Christ is gonna, Dear Cookie Christ. My wife doesn't even believe in you. But I know you're real. Fucking Cookie Christ. Well, the dough looks better. Is this too hot for me to touch? Ah, no, it's fine. We're going to try these, see if they turn out better. I mean, we fucked up so badly. It's a shame it's not really recoverable either. I'm more pissed off about the amount of labor I've wasted than anything else. You know, burning through some ingredients by accident when you do. Pay more attention next time. Those are very big. Careful with that. I think we'll probably have to throw the bad ones out. They're really that bad. I mean, maybe if you crushed them and put them in something, like something that called for cookie chips. These I think are gonna be too big. I'm overcompensating. That's a cheese. It isn't what she said. She never said that. That doesn't even make sense. Oh, switch broke. My dog is intently staring at the door where my wife disappeared into. She has a work meeting. What a shit show. Who's this amateur cookie maker who didn't put enough fucking flour in it? The ones in there are before I floured them up, and they look terrible. They look terrible. What a disaster. Incompetence is, right? music McMuffin. The dog is looking at me because he saw me chewing. You don't want these. Plus, you can't because they have coffee and chocolate. Dogs can't have coffee or chocolate. Off that. It's about 30 seconds early on that batch because maybe that'll save them a bit. Extra flour. Oh, there goes the dog. Well, yeah. Shit. It's very demoralizing to fuck up a recipe that bad. Let's see what the other comments make. Is there anyone that says, I am a fucking moron and don't know how to pay attention to directions? Dough in the fridge, yeah. Applesauce instead of butter. What? I totally changed the recipe and the result was shit. No shit. My cookies came out shit. I fucked up. And they were bad. Oh. Alright, well. We'll see. Close that. What a horrible result. Fire that guy in charge of cookies. Just fire him. We should get on the games now, but I need to finish this before I get back onto a game. I got some demos to play this afternoon. So I'll be playing those. What a shit show. What am I gonna play? I'm gonna play Obsidian's new game has a demo? What the fuck is it called? What is it called? I'm not logged into Steam on this computer, obviously. It's just my wife's old laptop. My old wife's laptop. My wife's old laptop. Steam, Obsidian. What should we have to see here? What did they have coming out? They got a demo they released just recently. Fucking Deadfire, Vegas. Upcoming releases. Nothing. That is not right. This is not right at all. Let's close that. I'm going to head into the other room and switch cameras over and stuff.